Hey guys, I know probably a lot of you haven't seen me in a while. Romie, just to remind you. And this is my review. It's not a recap. My review for Scream Halloween Special. So it starts off with something amazing happening. Kieran finally has his court case, and the judge is like, look, you have 10 life sentences to be served consecutively. Basically, you are never, ever, 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 10, getting out of jail. Now the security that's walking into his little holding cell is just like, wait a minute, this pretty boy's supposed to be the man that killed all those people? Him? Are they sure? Are we sure? I don't see it. So he goes and he leaves. His buddy there stays, and while his buddy's distracted, Kieran sees the scream, apparently the other killer. He's up on top of the cell, waiting for the security to be distracted. So he goes, swoops down, slaps, cuts, breaks. I mean, he had a lot of strength. That neck went. I was like, dang. How strong is this guy? That's I'm like, okay, unless this is a really strong woman, this is a guy. Because that neck went all the way back. He did a 180. And Kieran's just like, okay, so I did what you asked. Now, what are we going to do? What do you have for me? Alluding to the fact that he's been working with someone else, which we already knew. We already knew there was more than one. We just don't know who it is. And Kieran, he dies! His neck gets cut, and a lot of people's necks get cut this special. His neck gets cut, and then he gets stabbed in the back. Oh my, it was amazing. It was amazing. You just see him, and the blood is just pouring out, and I'm looking at this like, thank you. This is what we wanted. This is what we wanted. You can't have the killer go and kill all these people and we have another season and just have him in jail and probably trying to message Emma. Nope, can't happen. He's dead. So Emma's at home and her mom's talking to her like, okay, so what are you going to do about this college thing? Emma's not really excited about the whole concept of college right now because her life has been so tumultuous. She's on this, I'm going to go and do whatever I want tip, and college may not be for me. You know, there's more important things. Brooke comes and Brooke looks shook. Why is Brooke shook? Brooke's shook because she knows the truth. Brooke says, she's like, oh my gosh, how are you dealing? It was like, Emma, how are you dealing with this? Dealing with what? Emma doesn't know the fact that Kieran's dead, so Brooke fills him in and says like, yeah, he was killed after he was sentenced right there in the courthouse. And I was like, oh, okay. Exactly. That's the reaction I want. No, she gave more of a, oh, conflicted, a little conflicted. Am I really mad that he's dead? No, not at all. But do I feel a little bit bad? Maybe so. Noah is at the coffee shop with Stavo, and apparently this guy named Jeremy. Jeremy is, you can call him their publisher. He's the guy that's been financing their first book that sold out, that broke records. It was amazing. Of course, it was a book on the Lakewood Six, and the Lakewood Six and all the stuff that's been going on with the killings. The issue is the publisher wants more. The publisher, Jeremy's saying how he's spent his last dime on making sure that the next release is huge, and yet you have nothing. I talked to Stavo. Stavo told me you have nothing. It's like, oh, really? Stavo's like, yeah, your writer's block is killing us, dude. So Noah's trying to go and pitch some general story about, now let's talking about how the survivors are doing. Oh, that's boring. No. He actually wanted to talk about Kieran, and it was like, wait, people don't want to go and you to humanize the villain. That's not what they want. Instead, they're trying to put him in the put him in the mind frame of, what about the Anna Hobbs story? You know, the woman whose parents were, her mom in the 1930s worked for this guy who was technically the manor of the Witten Manor, and he used to have rum. He used to distribute rum, so he was loaded. As a result of that, the mom worked in the what is it called? The carekeeper's quarters, and for whatever reason, Anna snapped. Anna snapped. She killed the mom. She killed her brother. She killed the guy in charge of the manor. For some reason, not the wife. I'm thinking, okay. And so they're thinking, yeah, why don't we go and I'm offering a trip. Jeremy's saying, I'm offering a trip and I need you to go. And this is what you're going to do because we need magic. No one doesn't want any parts of this, but Salvo's like, look, my drawings are fire. You know, when you're not having the writer's block, you're a genius. So we're going to go and do this. Now, Emma and Brooke get into school and they're being hounded because remember, Brooke's father was just killed and Emma's boyfriend has now been killed and convicted, then killed. They get to talking and this is when Salvo brings up the fact that, why don't I take you guys all on a trip? You know, our publisher is taking Noah and I on a trip and I'm inviting all of you to get away from all of the stuff that's been going on. Emma's down for it. And the interesting thing is that Salvo personally invited Audrey with her girlfriend. The weird thing about that is, remember, Salvo and Audrey weren't on the best of terms because Audrey was really convinced that Salvo was the killer. So that's why she was even surprised when he offered to, it was like, yeah, bring your significant other around as well. It's like, oh, okay, thank you. Now Audrey goes and we see her girlfriend. Her girlfriend's name is Gina. Gina actually works at the movie theater with Audrey and she's the general manager. And because of that, she can't go, but she wants Audrey to go. Audrey's saying, I don't want to go. But she's like, no, you have to go. You have to go be with your friends. You have to unwind, release. And when everyone's on the plane, on this small plane, mind you, they're having fun. But then they learn about they're going to the murder house. They're going to be visiting the murder house on the Shallow Grove Island. Everyone had this look of, are you kidding me? We just left Murderville to come here. It's like, no, it was just one house where a murder took place. Technically, it was 2. But, no, it's still technically 1, now I think about it. Instead of 10 back in Lakewood. Noah makes it very clear, I was pretty much forced into this as well. I did not want to go and do this. You know, Brooke is with Salvo, so as long as they're together, they're cool. They come into a place and it's nowhere as big as they thought it would be, so they're all pairing off. That's when Audrey goes and calls her girlfriend Gina, and Gina, you know, tries to get off the phone pretty quickly, and you hear a lot of noise in the background. Audrey's thinking, oh, did you go to a party without me? It's cool if you did, but just let me know. And Audrey, of course, is very insecure. She's always been insecure in general. Apparently, our girl, the only Brooke, decided she wants to go to New York. She wants to go to New York. Oh yeah, please like, comment, subscribe, and Season 3 of Scream is confirmed, and it will be back on MTV. It's for 6 episodes. At least right now, it's for 6 episodes. The issue is that Brooke wants to go to NYU. Salvo, he's not really sure what he wants to do with his life, and Salvo's like, oh, so do you want me to come with you? And Brooke's just like, I don't know. You have to do what's best for you. That answer pissed him off, and he stormed out. Audrey is again talking with Emma because Emma has this whole mentality of she doesn't know what she's going to do in life. She's really concerned about the fact that she's had so many killings, deal with so much death, she doesn't know what to do. Audrey's saying, look, you need to go and focus on you. And speaking on killings, this is where we go to the bookkeeper's house and the man is recanting the story about there's a red herring. There's an issue with the original story of Anna Hobbs. He's saying it doesn't make sense how Mr. Whitten's body got to the his main house and there was no rain, there was no water anywhere. He was not wet. So they're wondering, how did they possibly transfer the body? Where was he really killed? Who really killed him? And it was just so many things. And the thing is, they're slowly trying to piece together, you know, a really captivating story so that it'll inspire Noah. Noah's still kind of over it, but they're saying, okay, let's go to this monster house. They need to talk to Billy. Billy is the groundskeeper. And while Audrey and Emma are at the market, they meet this guy, and Audrey wants to go, and it's like, all right, it's like this market slash tattoo place, and because Emma wants to go and get a tattoo. She's just trying to be adventurous, trying to do something different, trying to do something. This guy who will later find out his name is Alex. And while that's happening, Alex is just like, you know, why don't you get the tattoo? Carpe diem, seize the day. I'm thinking, okay, that's cool, thanks. He leaves and takes their bag by accident. Let's pretend that it was by accident. And it's just like, oh, you know, I'm Alex, by the way, because they go and return it. Now, mind you, the bookkeeper, that's what I'm calling him right now, the shopkeeper, his place was vandalized and the mask was stolen. The mask was stolen, and so now he's just really concerned because people just came in here inquiring about this, inquiring about all this stuff, and now it's gone. While that's happening, you have the girls there down by the beach, and they're just discussing the fact that Audrey, you know, she's a little paranoid because she's in a new relationship. Brooke isn't paranoid enough. She kind of gave Stavo the cold shoulder. Emma is just trying to rebound off the fact that her last boyfriend, the boyfriend before that, was killed and partially killed. The last boyfriend was a bona fide killer. It's just, this is a little bit too much for her. A little bit too much for her. And that's where she sees Alex again. And this time around, they go and they set up a little date. Salvo, Jeremy, and Noah, they go to the murder house and they talk to Billy. They thought Billy was a guy, but it was a woman. And so they invite, well, Salvo invites Billy to their little campfire. The thing about that is Salvo's definitely slightly hitting on Billy, and Billy's receiving it because she's really interested in Stavo. So Billy comes to the campfire and asks, of all people, Brooke, okay, where's Stavo? Brooke has this look of, why do you need to know? Why do you need to know? Why do you want to know? Who are you? And she tells him, and of course she's pissed, she's irritated, and somehow they become chummy. I'm assuming it's because of the alcohol. While they're all drinking, having a good time, of sorts. That's when they get around the campfire and Billy recounts a legend of what happened. Allegedly, Anna's mom was sleeping with the caretaker because Anna had mental issues and she tried to drown the kid, set some stuff on fire. She just did the most. And Anna overheard the fact that her mom wanted to go and put her in a psychiatric ward. Anna didn't want to go away, so Anna, you know, she created this mask. She put it over her face to hide her identity, to kind of, you know, bring out the other side of her, the cuckoo side of her. So she went, she stabbed her mom, she killed her brother, then she killed Mr. Whitten. And the thing is, stricken with what she's done, she went down to the pier and she killed herself. Basically, that's her version of the story, her version of the folklore. While that's going on, we have Jeremy goes and he pretends to be the killer, and it freaks everyone out, and except for our girl Emma. Emma charges him and tackles him. I'm thinking, Emma, those classes did work. Look at you. And of course, Jeremy feels a certain way because everyone's just like, we all have PTSD. You can't do stuff like that to us. So he goes and he takes some alcohol and licks his wound somewhere else. Savo brings back Billy, and Savo's just like, you know, I have another situation. She's like, oh, it's the blonde, right? Yeah, I see how it is. Of course, she wanted some, so she felt a certain way about it. But she knows that her door was open, that the door inside was open, so she goes in, and she's just like, okay, what's going on? It's Halloween, so there's always something stupid going on. So she's probably not thinking too much of it. Unfortunately for her, she goes back out to lock the door. I'm thinking, Jesus, you shove 8060 out of there. Next thing we know, she gets stabbed. She gets cut. It's done. It's a wrap. It's the killer. But it's not the Halloween mask scream killer. It's this new one. We're thinking, Lord, if this person followed Emma all the way to here, I'm done. I'm done. Emma's on her little date with Alex, and Alex is talking about how his parents were killed in a accident, and it was rough for him. So he didn't know himself for a while, so he went and escaped. He went and escaped, and it was just a lot to handle. Brooke gets a apology from Stavo, and Stavo, you know, he gets her a massage. Just like, okay, so that's supposed to be enough? Just like, look, I acknowledge the fact that I was trying to be petty and doing something dumb, but when you said that you wanted to go to New York and it sounded like you didn't want me to come with you, it made me feel a certain way. She's just like, oh, he loves me, he loves me. So it's like, okay, stupid. And then they make out. While that's going on, we see Audrey, Stavo, and Noah. They go to the murder house. They go to the murder house and they see the garden shears. They see a trail of fresh blood. And it just looks like Stavo's like, I think this is real. We need to call the cops. Audrey calls the cops. Noah's like, oh, this is still a joke. The sheriff is thinking that, you know what? People do stupid stuff like this all the time. People do stupid stuff like this all the time. So I'll go and check things out. But, you know, who do you think possibly could have done it? Well, Jeremy. And then this is where Audrey with her big mouth opens up and says, Jeremy, yeah, our pal, we haven't seen them all day. So this is like, I had to put on ABB for Billy and Jeremy. And after Emma's date with Alex, she decides to go back into the house. You know, they kiss. She goes in the house alone. Then she gets a call, and he's like, oh, you're never going to get away from me. And she knows it's the killer. She knows it's the killer. The killer tells her to go to the porch. She turns on the light and sees Billy's dead body. And she's bugging. It's like, I came to Shadow Grove Island just to escape this foolishness. Just to find out it's not over. Why? The sheriff is driving and he sees something in the road. He stops his car and he realizes, oh man, this is the shopkeeper. This is the shopkeeper. And the shopkeeper's dead. I mean, he's dead. Part of his face is just ripped off. So you actually see his teeth. Right? It's just a lot. A lot. And so while he's distracted, the killer comes behind him and, you know, stabs him. Well, actually, no. He moves and then his fingers get caught. He's like, oh! While he's doing that, the gun drops the gun. It's just over. It's a wrap. Shoo! Slash! Oh! Slash! And that's kind of the MO of this particular killer. I'm like, oh, so dang violent. He has a lot of hatred. Now, everyone's in the house and they're just like, look, we don't know what's going on. Why is the killer back? They're all bugging. Next thing you know, they hear a scream. Ah! Who is it? Gina! Why is Gina outside? Gina's just... Well, first off, Gina's... I'll never really understand why was Gina's hands all bloody. I'm still trying to figure that out for myself. Why was Gina's hands all bloody? Did she touch... What did she touch? I know she saw the sheriff's head was, you know, decapitated, and they're all freaking out, they're all bugging out. But they're looking at her like, what are you doing here? Why are you here? This makes absolutely no sense. You said that you weren't going to come, so what are you doing here? Oh, wow, I'm doing a good job consolidating this. I didn't even realize the camera was still going. But they're like, okay, we got to go. Audrey's suspicious, but she's letting it go for now. And that's when they decide they need to enlist the help of Alex. Alex has a boat, because they're like, we need to get off this island. And I know we can't take a flight, but we need a boat. His boat is magically gone. It magically disappeared, conveniently. They were just on it a couple hours ago. Oh, I guess someone stole it. So now they get to go into the murder house. And Brooke loves it because it's like, now this is a mansion. Now this is what I'm talking about. And even though they're all in this house and they're all together, somehow they slowly start to divide and conquer. Stavo and Noah go outside because they need to fix the CV so they can radio out for an emergency. And Emma decides she's going to go and tell Alex everything that's been going on. It's like it all started with a guy named Kieran. And I'm like, oh, Lord Jesus, Emma. Emma, come on, Emma, stop it. While Emma's doing that, we have Audrey talking to Gina. And Gina lets it be known that she actually came there because she wanted to surprise Audrey. And she wasn't... she didn't go there immediately because she didn't know where they were. Audrey is giving her 20 questions. Good. That's a good thing because in this group, you never know. Things get really weird. Things get very convoluted. And you think to yourself, Lord, please, please, please don't let this person be the killer. Because remember, Emma just had to deal with the fact that her boyfriend was the killer. And Gina gets very defensive. She gets very offended. And she decides, you know what? I'm going to go and leave. How dare you go and insinuate A little bit concerned. Now, while that's going on, they eventually get downstairs. And there's a knock. It's like, who is it? Well, Brooke was still thinking about her situation with Stavo. She wasn't sure what she was going to do. Next thing we know, Jeremy's back. Jeremy's back, and Jeremy gets let in. But, Alex has a shotgun. It's like, all right, now he can come in. Jeremy's like, oh, what's going on? It's like, can you tell him to point out? No, where were you? Yeah, we don't know you, and you have that partially look, so we're gonna go and give you 20 questions. What's with Audrey and assuming the worst in people? I mean, she did it to Jeremy 150 questions. I understand that he did a lot, and so Audrey's thinking, you know, maybe he's the one trying to combine these storylines, and this really reminded me of I Know What You Did Last Summer. It reminded me of a combination of Scream 1 and 2 and I Know What You Did Last Summer. That's all I was getting. So it's just like, okay, he tells the story of how he got drunk, he slept by the beach, he woke up, he came back to the house, then he saw that there was a dead, someone's head on the porch, so he got freaked out because he also saw that person leaving. He ran, then came back, and because there was finally a light, the house that was lit up. So he's there. They're like, okay, we'll get you some clean clothes, some dry clothes. They walk him. Alex is like, okay, here's the closet. Lock it. It's for his own good. If he's really the killer, then we can go and radio the police, tell him that we have the killer, and we're all good. I'm thinking, Alex is a little too gung-ho with this. It reminds me of when Kieran was trying to go and say, well, maybe this person's the killer, maybe that person's the killer. While that's happening, Audrey's freaking out because she's wondering, where is Gina? Where is Gina? What's his name? Alex goes and tells the story of how there was this man and he had to deal with these animals, and it was either being eaten up or attacked by the animals or jump off the cliff and be mauled by the animals. And there was one other option. He ate the strawberry. He enjoyed the strawberry because it was the whole season day, and so he was going to die anyway, so he might as well have gone out doing what he wanted to do. Audrey tries to go and find Gina, and she finds Gina's phone and sees, what are these pictures of Emma and I? This is very weird on Gina's phone. Very stalkerish. Noah is having a mental breakdown outside with Stavo because Noah feels like it's all his fault. You know, because of his writer's block, he and everyone came to the island. It's all his fault. It's just like, dude, you are so self-involved. So self-involved. Emma, in her room, there's a blood message that says never. It says never. So she goes and calls up Audrey. Audrey, because Audrey's finally found Gina. Because Gina's just like, oh yeah. Because Gina's over it. Gina's over the argument that they had. But Audrey wants to know, if you're not the killer. Gina's just trying to let me know, look, I see how you and Emma react to each other all the time. That's why I was jealous. You know, I noticed you guys, and instead of just going and being a part of the fray, I decided to have a standoffish approach, just to see how things may go. I might have just gone back on that boat and left, you know, but I decided to stick it out and decide, you know, at the end of the day, you're going to go back to Emma. You had a crush on this person. It is what it is. It is what it is. And it's interesting because Stavo, when he's talking to Noah, lets it be known, look, you feel guilty about profiting off of your friends' misfortunes and them being killed. And Noah's like, yeah, well, do you? No! At the end of the day, I'm doing what's best for me because I'm still living, I am alive, so we're just going to go from there. I'm just like, Stavo, you animal. When they go and they break up into groups, I find interesting how Brooke actually ended up with Alex. I was like, Brooke, you do not know this man. You should not be that comfortable. No. Thankfully, Noah and Stavo came back in the house. The generator's still acting up. And because the generator's still acting up, they decide, okay, we need to go and figure out what's going on there. And, of course, Emma and Audrey go somewhere else. we finally see where Gina went. Gina went to the groundkeeper's quarters, and guess who was also there? Jeremy comes in. Jeremy comes in, and we're like, oh Lord, here we go. Gina's just like, who are you? What are you trying to do? He's like, I was in the house with people who thought I was the killer, and they were potentially trying to kill me, so I escaped. I got out of Dodge, because Jeremy, you know, he climbed out of the window. Originally, I thought he was already dead, but no, he wasn't. He climbed out of the window, apparently, because there was again, it was reminding me so much of Scream. What was it, 2? Was it? I was like, what is going on here? But anyway, Gina's just like, don't come any closer, or else. He's like, or else what? What are you really going to do? She goes and she hightails it out of there. Jeremy sees this picture. He notices this picture, and it has Billy in there. And there's this other person there. And we're like, okay, that's definitely not Emma's Alex. So who is this guy? And that's when we see Jeremy get killed off. I'm thinking... And Stavo, he's still over it because he's just drained. He's drained. He wants to be with Brooke. He just wants to live. Noah realizes, wait a minute, we're in the master bedroom of Mr. Witten. And we need to figure out this story because something's not right about this. It's a rainy night, just like when the murder occurred. But somehow he came back and there was no traces of water anywhere. It's like, this bookcase, wait, I feel something. He takes the candle, there's a breeze. He tries and figure out, okay, maybe if I pull this book, pull that book, pull that book. Brooks is like, oh, hey, the book opens right up. They walk right into it. He's like, you genius. He's like, yeah, I know, let's go. So they go inside to the secret passage, and Emma's really starting to fall for Alex. And Alex is just saying, well, you know, I respect you because you're so strong and all the things that you went through and you're still fighting, you're still standing. And they hear this weird noise. So then they go to investigate it while everyone else is down, you know, walking through its creek. Because remember, this is where the alcohol was actually kept. This is where the alcohol was actually kept and stored. So they keep walking to this passageway. And it opens up to the the groundskeeper quarters. It's like, oh, so this is how the body was really transferred. Now, of course, Alex knows about this little area, about the passageway, so he locks it. He locks it because he doesn't want them to come back. Because we already know who's the killer? Alex. Alex is the killer. He's the one that killed Jeremy. Sorry, I forgot to say that because I was like, I'm not surprised about that. That's why it wasn't a huge reveal to me. And he sees the mask. He goes and gets the mask as well. Because he went to go and get his shotgun again. Thinking, Lord, am I going to have to kill these people right now? No, not yet anyway. So we're going to be good with that. When they're in the groundskeeper area, because that's where Billy was living, Noah realizes, you know what? This is what actually happened. You know, the Mr. Witten, he went and he was infatuated not only with Anna's mom, but with Anna herself. So he decided to go and try to fondle Anna. Of course, the mom was like, no, because the mom already didn't want to go and sleep with him. So the mom definitely wasn't going to go and let him violate her daughter. She fights back. He doesn't like the concept of someone saying no to him, especially a woman. He fights the mom. He takes the garden shears, stabs the mom, cuts and kills her brother. Then he stabs Anna, tries to take advantage of Anna while she's hurt. She goes, kills him, and then, you know, she's covered in blood. So now she's trying to get out of there. So she wanders to the creek, and she's walking. And again, she takes off her clothes to try and washes it, but she passes out and technically dies while in the water because she drowned. And Noah's like, this is what really happened. And then he's like, wait, but who moved the body then? Who moved it? His wife. His wife moved it because the shame of him possibly going and fondling, the shame and embarrassment that she will have had to deal with him fondling the help. Are you kidding me? No, she wasn't going to go and let that happen. And the thing is, Audrey's still thinking, well, I think it's Jeremy that's the killer right now. They go and see, no, Jeremy's dead, so it can't be the killer. And did you notice Stavel's face like, yeah, Audrey, Jeremy's dead, so he couldn't have been the killer. Okay? But he said it in a look like, now they have to run back to the house. Emma is dealing with the killer. She's fighting the killer off. The killer goes into the same door he came in. Then in the other door, we see Alex. And Alex is like, where was it? Where is it? What happened? What happens? It's like, I know who's there. It's like, okay, let me go and figure it out, and then we'll go and escape. We'll get out of here. Because Alex is saying, why don't you and me just go and leave? You know, far away from all of this. And Emma seemed interested because she's just over it right now. Because the whole thing is, high school would be over, so she would have the opportunity to do what she really wanted. And, you know, while Emma, she's just like waiting, she's waiting, and she sees something. It's like, what's going on with that dresser? Is that blood? That's blood. So she opens it up and sees Alex. Someone by the name of Alex, because there was a robe. She realized, Alex, no, this is Alex, so who are you? And this is where we find out who Tom Martin is. Tom Martin is the guy who now is basically yoking up Emma. And I'm thinking, Emma, don't try to fight him. He has a shotgun that he's holding with one hand. He's stronger than you. Don't do it, Emma. Don't do it. Because she tries to go, oh yeah, I want to be with you. I love you. Boom! No. Oh no, I'm so sorry. I want to be. Boom! He's blocking it. So it's just like, okay, tell you a little story. So Tom says, I went and I happened to go and kill off all those people, including Alex, because I heard about you. I heard about the Lakewood Six. I heard about all the killings. You're the survivor. You have having to deal with the press. You know, I had to deal with the same thing because even though my parents were killed in an accident, they were murdered. And I had to stay with their dead bodies for 3 days before the police found me. And then the media, it was a media frenzy. They wouldn't leave me alone. So I really connected with someone like you who also had to deal with death and all of that. That's why I figured I'd go and kill Alex, assume his identity, because you wouldn't care about Tom Martin. But then I found out you did care about Tom Martin, that I was good enough for you, that I was interesting enough for you. And while he's saying this, Emma is initially trying to escape, but then she decides, you know what? I do love you, I do need you. She only did that though to make sure that she heard what she wanted to hear. What happened to my friends? Oh, they're safe, they're fine, I'll lock them up. They're downstairs. They're not going anywhere. It's like, oh, okay, thank you. Boom! Kicks him in the trunk. And she runs. She runs. Of course, the power goes out. Well, the power's been partially out this whole time. So she runs. And the thing is, she hides. The door opens because he was about to get her. She was just right around the corner. He was about to get her. The door opens and it's Gina. Gina's like, oh my God, what's going on? He's about to go and shoot Gina. She stabs him with the gardening tool. And it was like, that's not fair. I'm thinking, you did this. Showing this to you. Okay. Okay, if you say so. Now Emma goes and she runs, and he runs after her, but then she runs out to the deck. He's just like, you know, you're not going anywhere. She was like, excuse me? You and no other man are going to tell me what to do. I don't need any saving. I'm Emma Duval. Oh my, that was the weakest line I've ever seen. I'm like, I don't believe it. You, no matter how many years of acting school, you will never be able to deliver that line the way that I need for you to deliver it, because it just sounds so stupid. Sounds so stupid coming out of your mouth. So he goes, charges her. He falls off and he dies because he breaks his neck on the stairs. Emma wins. Everyone else is there. It's like, oh my gosh, Emma. It's like, yeah, I'm good. So Audrey goes and makes good with Gina. And Brooke is like, you know what, Salvo, I want you to come to New York with me. He was like, shut up and kiss me. Noah, and I forgot that Noah and Emma are actually really good friends. Because it was just like, regardless of what went on, it is what it is. Are you okay, Noah? Are you okay? So it's like, yeah, I will be once we get out of here. Emma goes and gets the tattoo of Duval because she's now reclaiming the name. She's decided she's going to go to college. But to set up for season 3, for some reason, we see her father at Kieran's grave. And we're like, why is he there? And then Mr. James goes to the hotel and checks in. Well, someone by the name of Mr. James. I'm like, oh God, here we go. But the outfit, the clothing was completely different. So, I don't know. Leave your thoughts. I'm excited for season 3. It will be back on MTV. I don't know when it's going to come on. 6 episodes. Well, at least 6 episodes. So, yeah. Nice to hear from you guys again.